Snipers, you have to see what's happening in the cryptocurrency market today as the Bitcoin price has reclaimed the 50-period moving average on the daily chart back above the weekly open, and we're still following the path of least resistance, which we all know is sideways to a little bit higher because we've yet to break the $58,300 resistance level. And notice how the Ethereum price is showing strength and signs of life here with this daily candle wick that was extremely bullish yesterday. We talked about this potentially bringing the Ethereum to US dollar price back up to the upside, and you can see this is exactly what's happening in Ethereum, back above 3450, and this is affecting others' dominance with altcoins now back above their monthly and weekly open in this major support level. You can see we had a quick test of this 50-day moving average and we're right back above this level. And then when we look at the total cryptocurrency market cap chart, notice how we're seeing new all-time highs fighting to break through this channel resistance. I want to talk about what I'm expecting for altcoins, Ethereum, and Bitcoin over the next few weeks. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Obeidi. If you appreciate this content, remember to smash the like button. First, I want to address what's happening here with Bitcoin because we sort of have this inverse head and shoulder pattern forming here at the major resistance of 58,300. And right now we are above all of the moving averages on the 4-hour chart and the weekly open and back above this monthly open with this 4-hour candle. And the fact of the matter is when we came down to test this previous weekly open at 50,000 US dollars, we did see some buyers come in and that brought Bitcoin's price back above this 50-day moving average. And now that we've come to knock on this door for a third time, creating this inverse head and shoulder pattern on this 4-hour chart, in my opinion, the likelihood of Bitcoin breaking through 58,300 becomes a lot higher now. And if we start to see hourly candles close above that $58,300 level, then we can certainly expect 61,844 and potentially even 64,855. Because if we get to this major resistance, it has confluence here with this support level. And typically what you'll find is when the bulls are making their move, they're going to want to come to the next major level if there is an important resistance or support level when it comes to market structure near a resistance or support. And so there is a potential we could see a breakout here if we cross that $58,300 level. We know that we've seen a lot of chart vibration in this area in the past. It was the high for the Elon Musk pump here in February. And so that $58,300 level is still key. And when it comes to the downside, we want to watch this weekly open right now because it sits below the 200-period moving average on the 4-hour chart, and it would invalidate the inverse head and shoulder pattern. And so this is a very clear schematic today. We have 56,570 at the weekly open, and of course that support level, if it breaks, it brings 49,700 back into the equation. However, if we maintain price action above 56,500 where we have the weekly open and we come to test 58,300 and start closing hourly candles and of course 4-hour candles above this level, then we could potentially start to see higher price action, because even if we come up to the $61,844 level, it would still be considered garden variety market behavior, because once again, the path of least resistance is sideways to a little bit higher, not lower, right? And so we want to monitor this for Bitcoin. We're still seeing some light volume. And then when we look at Ethereum's price, you can see we are still showing bullish price action. We are forming these higher highs. We know that those higher highs typically like to break down when they form these flags. But, you know, of course, when we look at Ethereum's US dollar price, it's going to be more affected by the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, which is showing a completely different schematic. You can see we are seeing a lot of strength. We had this bullish engulfing candle, and since then we've yet to come down below these major candle support levels, and it looks like the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart wants to test that 65,000 Satoshi level once again, but we know there's a lot of sell pressure there and we still have some light volume, so don't be surprised if we start to see garden variety market behavior. I think right now we're all waiting on what Bitcoin wants to do. And the reason I say that is others' dominance has come back above this major support level, indicating that altcoins are back on the path of least resistance and are going to potentially continue to see upside now that we've confirmed continued strength for altcoins, especially when you look at this daily chart. It looks like an extremely bullish test with a lot of buy volume that came in. And so that to me is extremely positive for the overall market, including altcoins, and the total cryptocurrency market cap chart looking like it wants to come and break out. But remember, we do have this potential bearish divergence on the daily chart with this lower low forming right here. And so Bitcoin is really in a tight squeeze. And so I think at this point, instead of looking at the total market cap and the dominance levels, the Bitcoin price action right now is going to be key, either above 58,300 or below 56,500 from the weekly open, to determine whether Bitcoin chooses to come to the lower price levels or the higher price levels, of course. So we want to monitor Bitcoin's price. And then, of course, we look at Bitcoin dominance. Notice how we are seeing this downside, but this daily candle today is yet to close this low below the previous low. And so there is a potential we could see a retest of the weekly open for Bitcoin dominance. However, if we start to continue down, don't be surprised if we get to that 35% dominance level in the next few weeks, because that is the next major target now that we've broken 48.94, which was a major level. And it's not a coincidence that the weekly open is also sitting at that exact level. And then when we look at traditional markets, notice how the DXY is still having a cup of coffee at this important level. It's also forming this sort of inverse head and shoulder pattern here on the daily chart. But notice how we are still maintaining daily candles at the 100 period moving average and the 20-week moving average. Of course, we've yet to close any candles below that. And so this is going to take some time to mature. We want to monitor this. If we start to see potential upside here, then we could expect some downside in traditional markets. We're already seeing precious metals like gold move to the upside, with gold back above this 20-week moving average, which is a big deal because since we broke $2,000 an ounce and then we came below $1,900 an ounce, we were below the 20-week moving average. And I like to call the 20-week moving average home base. And so now that we've come back and reclaimed home base, we have this 50-week moving average that we're going to have to fight above. And once we get above that, there could be a breakout here. But we do have that $1,800 big even that we've already crossed above, which could be a confirmation of upside for precious metals. And we know if we start to see commodities like precious metals, gold and silver starting to see price action, it's typically an indication that institutions are hedging away from traditional markets. And we look at the S&P 500, you can see yet to form new lows, and we still are below the weekly, monthly, and previous weekly open. And so we just want to keep that in mind, because if we start to see the S&P 500 come down towards this 50-day moving average, that could indicate Bitcoin might want to come below the weekly open again and below its 50-day moving average. So we want to monitor what's happening to traditional markets. Of course, the gold to Bitcoin chart that we've been monitoring, I'll quickly cover this. Notice how we're still having a cup of coffee at this 50-day moving average. And so it is really a critical time for Bitcoin more than anything, in my opinion. I know we've been covering altcoins for quite some time now, but notice how all of these Bitcoin charts are in a very tight position and they need to make a move soon. And so the next move is going to be crucial. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. If you want to win one of my favorite books on value investing, Principles by Ray Dalio, hardcover version, comment below and share this video. You'll have a chance to win. I'm going to pick a winner from our video yesterday here. Let's see. David Stratman says, bonfire and happy coin to the moon. I think that's a spam comment. There's tons of spam comments on YouTube, so always be careful on any channel. Let's see, Callum Smith, you want a book. He says, do you think Ethereum will drop below 3,000 US dollars again? I think Ethereum is an extremely volatile asset, and I think that there is a potential for not above 3,700 that we could potentially see a retest of the weekly and monthly open at some point or another. Remember, it's early in the month. We have a lot of room to go, and so anything could happen. Anything's on the table. And we know the path of least resistance when there's low volume is always sideways to a little bit higher. And there's clearly low volume right now for the Ethereum price. It is declining quite a bit. And so send me a message on Instagram, Callum, you want a book. And with that, thank you all for watching this video. And I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, snipers out.